phases. Offensively, we didn't play very well tonight. Defense was able to just hold them to field goals and get some 3 and outs. And then in the kicking game, we lost Snyder in pregame. He ended up twisting an ankle. So we had Stone to come in. He handled all the kickoffs, and then Snipes was able to get some really good punts out for us. But it's good to get a first conference win, and we know this open comes at the right time for us, so we get a chance to go and rest up some guys that kind of beat up right now. And then we got an 8-game stretch there where we really have to be ready to play. I just told my team, I said that when you come into a game, you have to be focused, you have to be prepared, and you have to play with it flows, and the game flows, and it's balanced in the game. You have to get in a zone, but you have to get yourself ready to play. And we weren't ready to play tonight, but it's good that you get the win, and just happy that we were able to get that win before we go into this open date.
Coach, you talked earlier about winning at the line of scrimmage. What was going on with the offensive line tonight? Just 6 sacks, that was a high for this year.
Well, we didn't play physical, and always on the top of just being physical. And you have to be physical at the point of attack, and we get too many sacks, just too many lost yardage plays. Cronkite was able to hit the long one, but up until that point, we were getting 3 or 4 yards a carry. But we have to be better, and we have to play better. We have to be physical there at the point of attack. You look at those guys, and I told them, I said, what they have is speed and quickness. And that's an issue for us, because when you get little guys on you, you got to be able to lock up with them and not just knock them off the ball.
Was there a sense of hey, ECU, they've been through a lot for the last 2 weeks, they've been practicing in Orlando. Was that a message to your guys that we're going to get their best here tonight for what they've been through?
Well, I told them that we would get their best because they've been down here for 2 weeks. But I know our guys just, it's on us. We didn't have them ready, just our offense. And I know that our offensive coaches are upset about it, and they should be.
Coach, your defense is on the field for 96 snaps and only gives up 13 points. Is that the epitome of bend but not break?
Well, it's a combination of a lot. You get the third down, and what we did in the second half, we came with a lot of pressure because we just said in the open zone, the quarterback's able to find those guys in the open zone. And that's what we did. We wanted to make sure that we were tight coverage. And we gave up some throws there, but we were able to knock some balls away also. So, just defensively, what hurt us early is that, they would win on first down, and we had to win on first down. They would get to third short so many times. We were able to stop them a couple of times on fourth down. Then we get the one stop, and we run into the punter. Then we probably could have put the game away earlier. But just hats off to our defense, just the way they stood up. But it was at the end of the day, our offense needed to score, which we did, and by them scoring, it allowed us to play the way we played.
Coach, your team struggled on third down, and you were outgained on the ground and through the air tonight. Penalties, you only had 3. Last week you had 14. Turnovers, you only had 1. What was the key to victory tonight? Was it in the trenches? Was it that 80-yard pop? What was the defining moment?
Well, it wasn't really in the trenches because we gave up 6 sacks and had a lot of lost yardage plays. But we just made the plays at the right time. You look at Solly's for the first touchdown. We lay it out there, and he runs underneath it and catches it. And then down there on the goal line, we go to his own read plays. Blake pulls the ball, goes in for a score, and then Cronkite hit the big run. But the thing that happened is we knew that the way we were playing on offense, that defensively we couldn't give up a touchdown because we didn't want to play from behind. And if we gave up a touchdown, then we would have been playing. And then when you start playing from behind, then you start pressing. And we didn't want that to happen. That's why we just make sure that if they get a field goal, that's good. We won. But let's not give up a touchdown.
The ground game was non-existent until the fourth quarter. What's the status of your other 3 running backs that didn't play tonight?
Well, they're banged up, but we were concrete. Bell will be back. Mack is nursing a bruise. Sands is nursing a bruise, but Johnny Ford came in there and gave us some snaps. So once we get all those guys back, then we'll be able to do a lot of good things.
What did you see on Cronkite's big run?
What I see, that the hole opened up and my man outran him. But no, he can run. The Cronkite's a really outstanding back, and we blocked it well. We got a hat on everybody. The seam open, and he hit it. And once he got in the open field, he runs well enough where they weren't going to catch it.
What have you seen from Nick Roberts in his growth these past few weeks, having to step up and make big plays in big spots?
Well, Nick did a really good job tonight. And the thing, Nick, I go back to preseason camp with Nick, and he's one of those guys that we felt like he had the talent, he had everything that it would take to go play at that position, but he just wasn't locked in. So, you know, one day we had him out there in practice and got his attention very good, and ever since that day, he's been a different person. And even last week, you know, he made a couple of plays, and then today to go up and get an interception to go get the game for us was big.
Do you have an update on Mitch Wilcox?
No, Mitch, his is an ankle, but I think he'll be back.
Coach, going forward, who do you see being your kicker?
Who do I see being my kicker? We just keep kicking them the way we're kicking them right now. I mean, Weiss is handling what the field goals and the extra points for us right now. And Snyder's a punter, and if he had, it was hard for him to kick off because he had to plant, and it was his kicking foot. So when he kicked that ball off, you know, if he planted it, and he rolled his ankle, and he could have made it worse than what it was.
Coach, you mentioned Solomon earlier. Obviously, he had the big touchdown grab last week and then another one today. How has that connection been between Barnett and him, and how good has it been for you guys?
Well, the one that he got open, we faked the jailbreak. You know, we always been throwing a bubble out there, and him and D'Lo were blocking, and all of a sudden he just slipped to the outside and was just running wide open. So Barnett was able to hang it out to him. But the thing about it, you know, with him, it's always like his plays come at the right time when we really need them. You know, you'll see the ball thrown out to McCants, and boom. Then you see St. Felix, boom. Then all of a sudden, solid touchdown. And it looked like every time he touches it, a touchdown is involved.
What's down here secondary overall tonight? They didn't get much downfield.
But we played the secondary. You know, early in the game, we were off, and then we just gave them too much. And we knew their receivers were pretty physical, and they had some height size to them, and they could run. And then late, you know, I told Hemp was the one that attacked him all day. I think he had 4 PBUs and 4 tackles, but he played really well. And then, you know, some of those throws, we tried to get pressure. We weren't hitting the quarterback, but we was making them just get rid of the ball a little sooner than what he liked.
Coach, only three penalties tonight, 14 last week. Throughout the week of practice, what did you talk to your players about discipline and what goes along with lack of penalties tonight?
Well, it's about discipline, and if you're gonna be a good football team, we're not good enough to just give away yards, or you know, we have a drive, and all of a sudden we get stopped, and then we go backwards, and our guys understand it. I think, you know, the one call was an interference call on our sideline, and I think they got Hemp on the interference call. Then we got a procedure, but you know, to be a good football team, you got to eliminate those penalties because it's all about discipline and the guys staying focused and doing their job.
On that one pass interference, did you think the ball was catchable?
Oh no, I thought it wasn't, and I said it to the official, and he said something to me afterwards that he didn't think it. But no, he kind of agreed with me, but because it was a third down throw in the ball. I said, man, the ball hit the wall. I said, there's no way he was going to catch the ball.
Speaking of officiating, toward the end of the first half, there was an ECU player down for quite an extended period of time, and there was no 10-second runoff. Did you get any kind of explanation as to why?
No, that happened to us last week, and it was an injury. So anytime there's an injury and a guy goes down, then the guy said it to me last week. He said, if it's an injury, we don't see it's really an injury, then we're not going to have to take second runoff.
Coach, this is the third week in a row where you've got the big plays you needed on both sides of the ball in the fourth quarter. How can this experience in close games help this team move?
Well, we continue to grow, and it's one of those, you know, each and every week you just got to feel like that you have enough confidence that we're not going to lose the game. We just got to keep battling, and whatever we have to go through, you know, guys got to be strong enough to where, hey, at some point someone's going to make a play, whether it be on defense, whether it be on offense, or in the kicking game. You know, even with the kicking game, we had a chance to block a couple of punts, and it's almost like we ran past the punter instead of just getting our hands on the punt. But we just know that this is a very resilient group, and in no time do they feel like they're going to lose.
Coach, no Horn, basically no Wilcox. They take away St. Felix, and McCants is playing on adrenaline. That's a lot of weapons on your offense, isn't it?
Well, tonight, you know, Wilcox goes down in the first half, so you lose Wilcox. Then McCants got hurt there late. You know, St. Felix is one of those guys. If you have enough guys on the outside, then you know you can get him one-on-one. We weren't able to get him one-on-one, and so D'Lo's a guy who's going to have to step up for us and make some plays. And you're right, you know, Johnny, the thing he could do was run. He outrun people, but missing those guys, it really hurts.
So you never want to discount a win, but winning when you don't have a good game is a sign of a good team, isn't it?
I hope it is, and I hope we can learn from it.
Terrence Horn went down during practice this week. Can you tell us what happened when he was non-contact?
T. Horn went down on Wednesday. It was a Wednesday practice, and we threw a back shoulder fade to him, and he turned his body around. So when he turned, his knee was going in this direction. He had one leg pointed opposite, so when he came down, it's just non-contact, just the way he planted. But you hate to lose a player because he had been working. He had worked so hard. It was unbelievable. But not only he's a good football player, he's an unbelievable young man. Always has a smile on his face. Would do anything you ask him to do, and that one kind of hurt us. It hurt the whole team because everybody in practice just stopped when they saw him go down. Because they just knew that what he had put into it. But we hope he comes back, and he'll come back, and he'll come back a lot stronger. And it's going to help him because it's going to get some weight on him to get it build him up some.
Coach, Cronkite's run really well this season, but with 3 running backs going down, only a handful of carries before, you really had to kind of carry the load tonight. And what did you learn about him as a running back, being able to kind of carry that load for the first time and being the only guy that's an option?
Well, if we're good enough, I always tell him back, if he's good enough, he can handle it though. I mean, you didn't get too many carries, so you're the only one tonight, so let's go out here. A lot of times when you play a lot of backs, they don't really get into a rhythm. So you would love to say, hey, I got 2 guys, this is the 2 guys we're going with. The rest of you guys get better. If you want to play, you get better, and then we'll put you in.
And on the back of that, how much does that extra reps help a guy like Johnny Ford, who might sometimes be sitting in 4th or 5th?
What we always know this, Johnny, we just got to find a way to get him the ball. And the thing you want to get him the ball is on the outside where he's in the space where he can really, because he's a guy that he's hard to tackle if he gets you in an open box.
Coach, you only ran off 52 plays. That's a low point for you since you've been here, isn't it?
It really is, and we love to get more plays, but you look at it, and we didn't run many, but we took advantage and got us a good score. And we got up. I think we came in at halftime with 13-10, and then they were able to tie it up. Then we got the touchdown at the right time.
Coach, Illinois, East Carolina, you beat easily the last 2 years. Is this something that is a good learning experience now for your team? It's not last year, it's this year?
Well, you lose, but you're a different team now. I mean, you look at the guys, the seniors, and the team that you lost last year. There's a lot of guys and you really don't think about it until you start just rattling off those names. And now you come in with a totally new team. You have a different quarterback, running back, wide receiver. You lose Valdez, but you end up getting St. Felix. And then on defense, you lose 3 down linemen, 3 in the secondary, and Augie. So you lost 7 guys on defense. So it's you have guys there. They're young, they're talented, and the thing you want to see them do is just continue to get better and grow.
Thank you all.
All right,
Players in the
thank
back.
you.